Just weeks before lockdown, I dreaded going into work. I was a waitress in a cafe, and I was so scared about going up to tables at the risk of catching coronavirus that I welcomed lockdown. Now, with bars, restaurants and cafes all opening up, customers are flooding in, ready for a taste of normality. But what about the people pulling your pints and cooking your food? Are they just as excited?
For me, lockdown at the beginning was very stressful because we just didn't know what the hospitality industry was going to be like after. And at the beginning, it was really, really stressful. The week before lockdown, I think, was the most stressful week because I had to tell the staff they couldn't come in because there was no one coming in for dinner. Obviously, when the government said, don't go out to dinner, we were standing around waiting for customers that weren't coming in. So it was really difficult. It was basically just me and one other member of staff there for a week, and all the other guys, we just couldn't tell them what was happening, what hours they were going to have, what was going to happen. Obviously the furlough scheme came out and it was a really big relief for us that we could give support to the staff. And then to go from that to seeing 200 people a week, it was pretty intense and it felt a bit nerve-wracking at the beginning. I think everyone was a bit nervous about their families and things like that. We do come into contact with like 200 people a week. So at the beginning it was a bit stressful for everyone and don't want to make anyone else unwell, especially the people coming in for dinner and our own families. But I think we were excited because we were moving and we were reopening and we hadn't worked for so long. We quickly got used to the new setting and all the new precautions.
So what precautions have you put in place due to COVID?
From the front of house, we've had to do 2 metre distancing for the tables. So since we've moved into a new space, we've been able to do a decent amount of people, but we still are 2 metres apart. We have sanitisers everywhere. All the staff have to wear face masks. We no longer can go to the table as many times as we used to do. We used to be able to do quite a lot more service-orientated things, so we kind of had to condense that down and cut it down a little bit. Things like deliveries and whatnot, we have to sanitise things as they come in the back door. So it's put a little bit more pressure in the kitchen of keeping things separate. Luckily, the kitchen staff kind of work in a bubble in themselves, so we don't really interact with the front of house.
I've been back to work now a few months. I did the home delivery chef put in place to help us get the business on again. So I've been back to work since June. At first it was a bit weird, obviously, because I had spent these 2 months at home. Yeah, the beginning were a bit harsh, a bit worried. Yeah, I feel way more comfortable now. I feel safer working in a larger space, being around less people.
I am really nervous about being around my older friends, like people that are over the age of 80. I'm still really nervous about that, and I'm not going indoors with them. I'm only seeing people that are older outdoors and wearing a mask even when we're outside. So I'd say I'm a little bit nervous about seeing older people. My best friend's like 85, and I just didn't want to put them at risk at all. So I didn't really see anyone during lockdown.
It's not really affected us too much in terms of financial. We've still been able to trade at a certain level, whereas on our original site, we lost a lot of seats. We had gone from 34 and we could only really get 8 customers in with social distance because it was a really dense sort of space and really intimate. So it is beneficial in the sense that I didn't have to lose any staff, which was my main concern when the lockdown happened.
The hospitality industry is facing a challenging time, so it's doing everything it can to survive, which means we can do everything that we can to help when we do go out. Respect the rules and respect the staff.